Hey everybody, and welcome back to Let's Be Saints Awakened. We're your hosts, Andrew and Cecilia Birkin, and today we have a very special guest with us, but I'm going to let Andrew have the honors of introducing him.
Thank you, darling. Our first guest since we've returned to the podcast here is Kole Poncho. Round of applause for Kole Poncho.
That's when you have the soundboard and you do like the cloud.
Put in the So, Kole, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell us what you're up to these days.
Oh, well, my name is Kole Poncho. I'm 21 years old. I am one of 5 children. I am one of 4 boys and 1 girl.
Oh, poor girl.
I am the middle child.
Ooh.
Oh. Okay.
I didn't realize that before we asked him.
Would that change your decision?
Yeah, I got a lot of problems. Middle children are very problematic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's either they're problematic or they're like so unproblematic that they're overlooked. There's like no in between, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm definitely problematic.
Okay, got it.
Really?
At least he knows. At least he knows. Self-aware king.
Some bit of humility.
Well, good. So Cole's gonna share with us today his story and his walk of faith, and we're just gonna kind of discuss that. So
yeah, I don't know if we interrupted your introduction though, but yeah.
Nah.
If you want to. Okay.
So, all right. Well, if you would like to take it away.
Yeah. I was born in Lake Charles at I don't know what the hospital is called.
Memorial
Like Women and Children's.
I guess that one.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Well, Women and the name changed. It used to be Women and Children's, but whatever.
But I was born in Lake Charles, but I was raised in Sulphur my entire life.
Gotcha.
So, and then, I lived in Sulphur, went to, what's it called? R.W. Vincent for elementary till 2nd grade till 8th. I was at Our Lady's School in Sulphur, Catholic school.
Cool.
Then went to Sulphur High. Good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone has a good time at Sulphur High.
It's crazy up there. I was born and raised Catholic. I've known nothing else other than Catholicism. Never wanted to indulge in anything else. I've been firm in that. Actually, from a very young age, I was very this is the faith.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've been thinking about it. I think I had like a divine, I guess, interaction with that, like thinking about that. So I feel like I have
Like as a child?
Yeah, like I remember my neighbor, she had a daycare, so I'd go there till I went to pre-K. But I remember thinking about God while I was there, and I don't know how, I was probably like between 2 and 3.
Oh.
But I remember clearly like thinking about this, like being taught, and I was like, this all makes sense.
The way.
This is legit.
Yeah. So at a very young age, I was like, yep, I believe in God, and I believe in the teachings and the way of life. At least to the point that I understood at that young age.
Right.
Yeah. My parents didn't teach me much about the faith because, after 1st grade, I went to OLS, and from 2nd grade to 8th grade, I had a religion class or time that I was being taught about the faith.
Yeah, sure.
So I didn't go to CCD, or my parents didn't teach me much. But I had like extra. I went to I forgot what it's called. It was a youth group at the church that a lady she started. She had like.
Was it at Prom Sucker? They had a big
Mary Ellen Burton. She started it.
Oh yeah.
She has like 15,000 kids.
Yeah,
Wow.
I want to say she might be on Kid 16
Or 17.
15 or 16.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But
Still going.
I know, yeah. But they always had a really big youth group. I remember hearing that.
Yeah, it it was a wide variety of ages, but it was still fairly big. And I think that that helped me, not outside of religion class. That was my helper. Because my parents didn't really teach me anything because they're like, I'm going to a Catholic school. They're going to teach me all of that.
Yeah.
And they just kind of expected everyone else to teach me. And it worked for the most part. So, but yeah, I went to OLS. Nothing crazy happened till third grade. Or I guess that was the year after I went there. I got an ear infection and got hospitalized because the infection almost got to my brain.
Whoa!
So I almost died. My ear doctor actually caught it.
Whoa!
So I guess he saved my life.
Yeah. Shout out your doctor. New fear unlocked.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. And then from then on, I've had tubes put in my ears, both ears, and they're very small, very small. And I've had I think 4 sets, so 8, and my ears kept rejecting them. So I have bad hearing now, or impaired hearing.
Yeah.
So
you don't have hearing aids, right?
No, not yet.
Okay, I was gonna say. Not that I've noticed.
I'm not sure what they do, the tubes.
Yeah.
But
could tell you.
They seem pretty useless because my body kept on rejecting them.
I knew that one of your ears was higher than the other. We were just talking about this. That's why those tubes in your ears.
Yeah. The tubes have one ear sitting higher than the other. It's obviously the tubes, and not the way that God made you. No.
Anyways.
Yeah. So, that happened in third grade. I remember I was in the middle of class and my ear started leaking. And I was like,
goodness gracious.
So I told my teacher and she's like, we'll clean it. And then eventually my mom got told and she's like, I think she called my doctor. And then eventually I left class and went to the hospital. I was there for a week.
Golly, man.
That's crazy. Yeah, definitely new fear unlocked. I didn't realize. Was it just it had been infected and you just kind of brushed it off? Like you didn't know it was infected?
Probably.
Yeah.
That's what a third grader.
Yeah, a little boy is probably like, man, my ear hurts.
I've probably been sticking things in it. But my ear itches.
Yeah. Something feels off. Oh, well.
But yeah, that happened. And then my fourth grade, that was a year later, my dad ended up losing his leg to a infection he didn't take care of.
Wow.
Because he didn't like the hospital or doctors. Which I've been hearing more men don't like going to the doctor.
Yeah. Fair enough.
That is super shocking. My dad got surgery on Friday and is back at his office today. It's Tuesday. He can't walk or move or have any. He piled my mom's car full of all of his stuff and was like, "Bring me to work." And she was like, sit down, dude. You don't need to. So
yeah, my dad was a workaholic. I think that was probably the main thing. He just got to take time out of working.
Yeah.
So yeah, he ended up losing his leg. He was in the hospital for a while. He was in and out of the hospital the following 3 or 4 years because losing a leg affects more than just your limbs.
Right,
affects your organs and everything.
Right, your body's a machine. So
that was in 4th grade. Yeah, and then 7th grade, my dad got hospitalized. I think between 7th and 8th, he got hospitalized again, and it got really bad. Yeah, and so my dad was a workaholic, so I didn't get to see him too much. During the summers, we'd spend a lot of time, or during sports seasons, he spent a lot of time with us, either watching us or practicing with us or helping us to practice, bringing us to the fields, soccer fields, baseball fields, whatever. Cool. So he spent a lot of time with us during the sports season, but he spent a lot of time working. or at the hospital after he lost his leg, or doctor's visits, whatever.
Right.
So I started losing a lot of time with my dad, which I guess wasn't too, didn't affect me too much. But eventually it's like he started being gone more, or being at we started having to take care of him. I didn't really take care of him too much till I was in high school. But there's just a lot of, I spent a lot of time with my dad, and then I started losing time with my dad during that period of time in middle school. And there's just so much going on. I think as I was growing up, I'm maturing. I'm causing so much trouble with my parents. Middle school, definitely 7th grade was my worst year. And it was my worst year, but after 8th grade going
just stinks in general.
yeah, I almost failed English class as well. But I passed.
Yeah,
my counselor helped me lock in. And I locked in, I passed. So
Congratulations. Obviously, he's here at McNeese.
yes, guys.
He made it.
Woo! I guess going into high school, freshman year is freshman year. You just meet new people and do whatever. Start playing soccer. Yeah. There's a lot of crazy people there.
Oh yeah.
I can imagine.
And then nothing happened during my freshman year except for COVID. Year. That was a very strange period of time.
Oh my gosh, yeah. This is weird for everyone.
Yeah, I was just happy. COVID hit. They were supposed to be out for a week, or they closed the schools for a week, and we're supposed to have a project in one of my classes, but we never ended up meeting together me and my friend to do it. And when it came close to going back to school, we were talking about it, and then they canceled school for the rest of the year, I think, or a month or whatever, and then eventually.
Right.
So I was super happy I didn't have to do that project.
That project. Nice.
I made a teen acts retreat, and that was, I think that revived my spiritual or my faith. Because I was kind of just going through the motions from 8th grade till sophomore year till I went to the teen acts retreat. And just going through the motions. I never really missed Sunday Mass except for when I had soccer tournaments. And my parents would just we'd get home an hour before Mass would start, and they wouldn't be
just not up for it.
Yeah. So, but besides that, I never missed Mass. And then I went to that retreat. It was a teen acts retreat, and that revived my faith definitely, because it was a completely different environment. All the people who were leading it, or the staff members, were very nice. It was just an amazing experience. I did it with Kaden Goday.
Oh yeah.
So we played lots of Gaga Bowl. That was fun. Nice. It was fun, one of my favorite bits. Then junior year hit, and school's back to normal for the most part. Started playing more soccer, playing varsity, playing with my brother.
Nice.
Yeah, and then also during my junior year, my parents split up, which I always say it didn't affect me, but I'm not too sure about that. But I think it's more just I kind of disassociated myself from having to deal with that. Which is what I did with a lot of things, especially with my dad being sick. My 16th birthday, I went to the hospital to see my dad, and at that time, he almost died. I think before my birthday, but he ended up not, obviously. And I just didn't know how to deal with that, not having my dad around as much as he used to be, and not be able to do him not be able to come to my soccer games or whatever.
Right.
So I had a lot of dissociation with my life experiences, especially with my friendships. And I learned that later on with none of my friendships were deep. They're all just surface level, just come to hang out, talk, either practice soccer. I had friends I'd just go practice soccer with, but nothing else. I wouldn't do much other than that. So I forgot what I first said.
Your parents split.
Yeah, my parents.
Sorry.
My parents
Wow.
split. Yeah. My parents split, and that didn't really affect me too much, at least externally speaking.
Right.
I just kind of, stayed with soccer, go and hang out with friends. I did that most of the time to, I guess, get away from some of the issues. And then the end of my junior year, my dad, he ended up having a heart attack in his sleep. And at that time, it was just, I was living with my dad, and my other two brothers, my two younger brothers, were living with my mom across town. Nick was he was at McNeese here, and Sarah was living with her boyfriend. I think she was married at the time, her husband, somewhere else. I don't know where they were living. But, yeah, he passed away in his sleep, and that morning, I think he might have died. It happened on Tuesday that I woke up and we found out. My two younger brothers were staying at the house that week, and my dad always slept in his recliner because he's too lazy to go to his bed most of the time. So my brother got up for school, and I think he was taking the bus, which is why he was up before me. Jude, Jude's the oldest of the two younger ones. He got up, he was doing whatever he does in the morning, and then eventually tried to talk to my dad, and my dad was not responsive. And at some point he came to get me, and I was in my room, sleeping still. And I woke up to him banging on my door and screaming, and I was like kind of just stunned awake. I didn't know what was going on, just hear loud noises, him screaming. And I was just very annoyed that he woke me up. And eventually I was like, why are you banging on my door? And I think I clearly heard him say that my dad wasn't like responding. And I remember like sitting in bed, kind of thinking about what he said. I was sitting in bed thinking about that for 5 seconds. And then I finally got up and went to the living room. I didn't have my contacts in, so it was kind of just like all I can do clearly was think. I can't see clearly, and I'm barely awake. So I walked to the living room, and my brother's on the phone with the 911 operator, and he's like, "Dad's not responding," and just he was talking to me and the operator. So I was just like, I at that point when I got into the living room, I was narrow-minded. I was just looking at my dad, and then I tried to wake him up, and eventually I took the phone from my brother and was talking to the operator, and they told me to check his pulse, check and see if his heart is beating. When I first initially touched him, he has a beard, and so I didn't feel his skin. And so I was kind of slapping him to try and wake him up. And so then I took the phone. They told me to check his pulse. So I put my head against his chest. So I still didn't feel that he was cold at that point. And then at some point, they told us to move him to the ground. So I grabbed his arm and I felt he was cold. So at that point, I knew he passed away. And so I knew instantly he was gone. So, and I didn't say anything to my brother because I didn't want to tell him, or I didn't know how to express that to him. So I just continued. We moved him to the ground, and then as we moved him onto the ground, one of the cops finally showed up, and then he started doing CPR, and then eventually they ushered us out the house because the ambulance, the EMT showed up, and then So we were just up at the house. One of my uncles, they lived like around the corner from where we live. One of them showed up because the other one was, I think, at work, probably. And so he was done with my two younger brothers. And then I went and just stood next to my car in the driveway. And they were staying in the middle of the yard. So, and yeah, I was kind of just stunned with that whole situation because I can't see. I'm literally in just shorts. It's like 50 degrees outside. It's cold. And just that whole situation was bizarre. And I didn't know what to do. I was completely lost in thought and feeling most of all. So I remember just sitting on my car and staring at the sunset, the sunrise. And the sunrise was a very beautiful. It was very nice to look at. So that's what I was looking at the whole time, and I was just like, I started praying, and I was like, God, like, please let this, like, I know what you can do. Please, like, bring him back. And so, so I started praying and praying and praying. And then eventually my uncle came over, my godfather. He came and stood next to me, and he didn't say anything to me because we're not a very, we don't talk too much about our feelings with each other. So he just kind of stood there, and I just stood there looking at the trees. There's a tree line up next to the sunrise, and just stood there looking at the trees, listening to the birds, and just kind of I was avoiding the having to look at the house because I just wanted to disassociate myself from that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like disassociating myself from that situation.
Right.
And eventually I was like, I'm cold, and I kept begging to go inside, so I'm gonna put on my contacts and some clothes because it's freezing outside. And so I got to go inside and went up and put on my clothes, put on my contacts, or put on my glasses, whatever I did. And I remember just like after I did all that, I just kind of stared at the wall and then just started crying, and then put my face in my blanket because I didn't want anyone to hear me. And then my papa, he came and knocked on the door and asked if I was okay. I quickly cleaned up my face and was like, yeah, I'm okay. Eventually came out, and then at that point they'd moved my dad out of the house. Mm-hmm. So we were just kind of chilling in the house for a minute, and then my mom and my sister showed up at some point before I went into the house, and they were my sister was very distraught because me and my sister, we had the same mom, different dads. But there was a whole situation which is kind of bizarre. I'm not going to explain that. But eventually her dad he went off, which wasn't his fault exactly. And so she didn't have a dad growing up till my mom met my dad. Right. And eventually my dad adopted my sister. So, and he raised her from like when she was probably between 4 and 6. He raised her from that age till she was 18, and she moved out when she was 17 or 18. I don't remember. So she was very connected to our father, and yeah, I remember that, like, seeing her cry was like, I was like, in my mind I was like, I can't cry because I need to be strong for them. So I never cried in front of them. And I only cried once when I went into the house, and twice after, 3 times. Once during the funeral and once after the funeral. And only the first time I cried because of the actual situation. The second time I cried because my aunt, who raised my dad, basically, because my uncle and my dad are like 30 years apart.
Mm.
And she helped raise my dad.
Gotcha.
So, and we spent a lot of time with her growing up. So, during the funeral, she started crying, and I think I'm a very empathetic person. So when I looked at her crying, I like started bawling my eyes out. I don't think I've never cried that much or that hard. And yeah, I was sitting around all my friends, a bunch of my friends, and one of my friends, Judd, he's one of the goofiest people and dumbest people in the world I've ever met. And I'm bawling my eyes out, and eventually, start slowing down, calming down. And I don't understand his thought process behind this, but so there's my dad's coffin is at the front, and there's I think 2 TVs, one on each side, and there's just pictures of my dad, or they played pictures of my dad. Eventually, it like went on to there's I guess loading screens. I don't know what you call it.
Yeah, just like a shuffle of.
Yeah, like the Roku TVs. They go to
yeah.
It was something like that, but it was just like random pictures of flowers or something.
Yeah. Okay.
And my friend Judd, he's like he's pointing at the TV and is like, "Dude, I see your dad behind that flower," and no, it didn't make any sense. But it was funny. Like I immediately started laughing and we started joking around, and he lifted my mood. He did, but he did it in a very weird way, in a very stupid way, and then yeah, and during I guess I don't know what it's called. Whenever they're giving the talks, they're talking. Father Paul was there to pray about or do whatever he does before they go and put him in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So this was at the funeral home. So I spent the whole time while they were talking and praying outside because I didn't want to be in there while they were talking about my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in there for a little bit while they were praying. But my nephew, my godchild, was running around being crazy. So I opted to go and take care of him outside while they were doing that. So I, kind of, again, disassociated myself from that situation and just went and spent time with my nephew, which is actually what I did. The day he died, we went to Cracker Barrel to eat for, I guess, brunch. And the entire time I just spent playing with my nephew. He was like 6 to 8 months old at that point, I think. Maybe a year. So
My ears hurt.
So he's a cute little baby at that point. So I was like, I guess clinging on to something to find joy in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a very chaotic time.
I'm sure.
It was extremely chaotic because during that time, my mom had gotten a boyfriend at some point, and which was fine. She started bringing him around. I didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
But then eventually he moved in, and then I think my brother Nick had moved in as well eventually. There's just so much going on that was not right. And I just felt like I never got to grieve properly throughout that point. So, and I just started drinking that my junior year, and then I started drinking. I wouldn't say I was an alcoholic, but I was drinking more than I was before, and partying more, and just being away from home more, just trying to get away from that chaos that was at home. Right. So that was throughout the summer, and then senior year rolled around. One of the a guy came in. His son needed one more like school credit to graduate high school, so he lived with us throughout my senior year. So my brother moved out, and then he moved in at some point, and so me and him lived together in the same room for that whole year. Which he wasn't a bad guy in any way. He was just trying to make it.
Yeah.
Because of his parents not being good. So I just never felt comfortable to grieve. So I never grieved going into my senior year as well, because I was living with a random guy. And and just throughout my senior year, I just focused on soccer primarily. And then when I wasn't doing soccer, I was hanging out with my friends away from home. Or I spent a lot of nights staying at my friend's house because they knew of like my situation. And one of my friends, Aiden, him and his family took care of me a lot. Actually, like 3 of my friends, their parents, them and their family, like took care of me. So I spent a lot of time just like away from home with other people and their families, which was very, I guess, peaceful for me at that time because I wasn't comfortable at home, and I wanted to be occupied, and soccer only takes up like 3 or 4 hours of my day because I practice and then practice more, and then after that I'd either play video games or be hanging out with them. And I did that throughout my entire senior year. So throughout that year, I was very depressed. I wasn't like, I'm not going to say I wasn't suicidal, but I definitely had thoughts. But I always, I grew up being told like committing suicide was condemning yourself to hell.
Right.
Which isn't true. That is not what the church teaches.
That is correct.
But I think it's a very good deterrent for not killing yourself.
Yeah.
For someone who grew up in the faith and is scared of hell.
Yeah. So, and throughout that from like my dad dying to the end of my senior year, my faith it's still mediocre. All I'm doing is just going to Sunday Mass. And then that was it. I never did any extra stuff. And, I was very depressed throughout my senior year, very distracted, very. I grew in a lot of hate for my mom. My mom's actions, not for my mom, but like what she was doing. It was very just harmful to me and my brothers primarily. I could deal with my issues, but my brothers, they needed more from my mom, and they didn't get what they needed. So, and I just grew in a lot of distrust and distaste for my mom. And so my sister spent a lot of her time taking care of me and my brothers, along with her, my nephew. No, this is my first nephew. My second nephew came along after, like a year and a half after. So, it was a very strange and beginning of a very dark period for me, at least spiritually speaking, because just nothing good was going on. My mindset was very darkened, and I was just like struggling with drinking too much. I wasn't alcoholic, but still drinking too much. I developed lustful behaviors very badly. And there's just nothing good. I wasn't doing anything good with my life at that point. And then I graduated high school in 23, and I took a gap year because I was like, I'm not going to go into college unless I'm sure I'm going to get a degree. So I took a gap year, just working over the summer. I think it was like, I went to McNeese. My freshman year was my first freshman semester was the fall of 24. And just before that, me, Caden, Gode, and Neil Dupree, are one of our close friends. We started doing a Bible study, and we started doing it with my roommate at the time, Caleb Norwood, who's Catholic now. And then a few of our other friends and a few of our other Catholic friends who were all like living very secular lives. So it was very good for them. And at that point, Caden was preaching, or not preaching, but like he had a very heretical view of the Catholic Church and on Christianity.
Yes, I recall.
Which kind of started shifting gears for me, because I was like, this guy, the things he was saying were like just so heretical and just logically unsound.
Yeah.
So I was like, I gotta lock in. This guy's, he was raised Catholic and he's going off tracks. So
going off the deep end.
Yeah, so I give thanks to him for being a heretic.
That's fun.
He started my, I guess reconversion of heart.
Yeah.
And we started doing Bible studies, and he's, saying these wild things. I'm just like, I gotta
be able to combat this.
Yeah. I never did vocally, but in my mind I was like, this doesn't make sense. Neil would always combat it, because they always argue and talk, because they're best friends. So and that, I think we started doing the Bible study in July, and we did it up till probably December, maybe.
That sounds right.
And and as he's saying all these things, I'm starting to read my Bible. I'm starting to listen to things. I was watching The Chosen for some reason. I guess that helped, maybe. And then I very slowly had a conversion of heart towards my faith and God. I never lost belief in him, but I was incapable of having a firm foundation with him and practicing my faith in a manner that will benefit me and those around me. So I think the main thing for me during that time was just fighting off the lustful temptations and the lustful things that I was doing. So that was very discouraging for me at that time, as well as I couldn't get over these behaviors, and also felt just very, I felt incapable of loving people and being able to receive love, which, if you can't receive something, you can't give it. And the main thing was with God is God is always trying to give us stuff, especially his love. If I can't receive that, how am I supposed to give it?
Yeah. Can't give what you don't have.
Yeah. So I slowly started realizing I want to straighten myself up for marriage, if that's something I'm thinking about. That was in November, around that time. That was I gotta straighten up for myself, not for Caden. I can't do anything for myself. I can't do anything for anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so I was like, all right, I need to, quit committing these habitual sins, and learn more about God. I need to understand who he is, what he has to offer, and what can I do for him, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah.
And my main struggle was just love, being able to give love, being able to receive love, loving myself. And none of that was existent for me. So I kind of I fell into a very dark pit of despair, because I started realizing I've never been able to, I guess, express love as God talks about it in the Bible.
Right.
to like before in my life. Like I never felt love for other people. I never felt like capable of kind of receiving love, at least in a more healthy manner.
Yeah.
And so I was going in a circle just thinking about that. Like, how am I supposed to become a better man if I can't love myself and I can't love others? And so around December, I started serving at Good Counsel, and because me and Father Paul have been close friends since I was in 7th grade.
Right, he was at OLS then.
Yes, he was one of the pastors. Yeah, or he wasn't technically a pastor. He was I forget what it's called, but
Like a chaplain.
yeah,
one of those weird things.
he's
One of those titles.
Yeah, he's something. But he was part of the Lost Let Order, and Father Richard, the pastor at Prompt Succor, he's the part of the Lost Let Order. So they typically they send new priests through Prompt Succor a lot. Yeah, he's a very good, I guess, mentor, teacher, whatever. So he was there for a few years, like 2 or 3 years, I think. And then eventually he came to Good Counsel, if I'm remembering correctly. So after he came here, I didn't really talk to him too much, but he did stay in contact with my family. So, and he knew my whole family situation for the most part. So he's trying to get me back into my faith. He was also my sponsor for whenever I got confirmed my sophomore year. Forgot to mention that. So, yeah, Father Paul is a great friend. He's probably one of my closest friends ever. And he's always helped me along, more or less, throughout my entire life since I've known him. And he started asking me to serve because I used to serve for him at Prompt Succor. And he started asking me to serve for him at Good Counsel. And I was like, nah, I don't feel like it. I'm pretty lazy. Still, like, I don't want to have to not receive in front of a bunch of people. That was one of the things I was thinking about. And then I don't know if I went to confession at that point. I don't think I went to confession till probably January. So I wasn't receiving for probably like 2 years. 3 years maybe. So he's helping me. Eventually I start serving. I meet Paul Perez. Great guy.
Shout out, Paul.
Shout out, Paul. Prayers for him in the Vianney house in Caden.
Yeah.
The Vianney house.
They've both been on here before.
Yep. So I met Paul, and then I started coming around the Newman Center my second semester. And then
I heard you joined the Fire Bible Study.
I did join a Fire Bible Study. Luke Edmonds.
Okay, all right.
I'm sure Luke does have a Fire Bible study.
The first Bible study I joined was Luke's, and then eventually I joined Andrew's. Both very good. I enjoyed going to both of them.
You did go to both of them, yeah.
So I still go to both of them for the most part. Where was I at? Yeah, I started going to the Newman Center, started going to Bible study with Luke and Andrew. And, my faith is starting to be challenged in a more intellectual way, I guess. And then also eventually a more, like my heart is being challenged to the lies and beliefs I have for myself and, I guess, other people. Yeah. Whatever. And eventually I'm still thinking I can't, I want to prepare myself for marriage. And I was had enough humility to know I wasn't ready for marriage at that time. Or, it was nowhere near close to it.
Is anyone ever ready?
Do what?
Is anyone ever ready? No, I'm being serious though. Is anyone ever ready for marriage?
You'd be prepared.
Yeah, but still.
You never be really ready. Life is crazy, especially nowadays.
Yeah, you're telling us.
Yeah. We know.
This is for Cole.
Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, I was still thinking, how am I supposed to marry someone if I can't love them? So between January and March, I came to the conclusion, or I was praying about my vocation, basically. But I was mostly just praying about marriage, and then eventually I started thinking about priesthood. I've always been questioned, are you going to join the priesthood? Or at my church, by the old ladies.
Your brother's doing it.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought
So, yeah, I started thinking about marriage and priesthood in March, and then I made my awakening in March, which that was an amazing experience. That really helped me in all kinds of different ways. And I got to know more people at the Newman Center, which was amazing.
Was that the one that you made?
No,
you made the one in October.
So, yeah, I began to start meeting people, got to familiarize myself with Andrew and Jarrett, Bernadette, Luke, Molzon.
All those randos.
Yeah, those random. Who are they?
Those people that just lurk around the Newman Center.
So I got to meet them, and then Kate and Isabel Watkins. Got to meet them and start hanging out with y'all. And I met you as well.
Oh, yeah.
We had a psychology class for a little while together.
That she
Oh
dropped.
my gosh, yes,
She
I
dropped
did.
it.
I did. I dropped it.
I remember that.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. Good times.
Obviously, they weren't good times if you dropped the class.
Yeah, that was sarcasm.
I did. I was like, where's that girl Cecilia? Where's she go?
She gone.
She's gone. I think probably a month later, I was talking about the class with you, and you're like, I dropped that class. I was like, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Anyways.
Yeah, it happens.
He didn't notice because he also wasn't going to class.
No, I was going to class. I love psychology. Psychology cool.
The thing is, I do too. But anyways, that's a side story. Yeah, it's irrelevant.
But yeah, I started meeting people who had the same values as me.
Yeah.
At least at a more firm level. Like my friends from Sulphur, most of them are Catholic, but they're not good practicing Catholics.
Yeah, right.
And at that time we were all still partying and drinking and just very secular and worldly. So, and meeting people at the Newman Center is just like, these people are, they're living in the secular world, but they're trying to make that world, I guess, conform to the way of Christ, the way He envisions us to live, and which was very desirable for me.
Yeah.
It's like, these people are exactly the type of people I want to be around, and get to go to mass with them, get to talk to them at the Newman Center, go to class with them. It was a great new chapter of my life, and it also kind of instigated me to start thinking about priesthood. And so after between March and April was like my I don't know what to call it. I had a crazy spiritual
epiphany.
Yeah. And
epiphany.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I know, we're just using fun big words to mean the same thing now.
Yeah. Yeah, between March, after awakening, to April, Easter, it was a great, I felt God. I felt like I was talking to God. Or I was talking to God. Me and Him were communing in a very new way, in a very enjoyable way. I felt much joy and peace during that time. And then Holy Week happened, and that entire week I served for Father Paul here at Good Counsel. And Holy Wednesday, Holy Thursday, and Good Friday were the most. It was a very good experience. It was a very good experience. I got to help with Mass. I think it's Friday. Friday, the Veneration of the Cross.
Mm-hmm.
I did it this year. I got to hold Jesus while everyone came and venerated the cross. And it was very, I was praying the entire time I was doing that. I was like kind of meditating on the passion and the crucifixion. And I felt a great weight on me while I was holding the cross. And I felt a great weight taken off of me during that period of time. And I felt a great amount of peace. And I was able to begin, I guess, better my discernment.
Yeah.
Though I never felt like I was getting a clear call. I just felt that God was calling me as an individual to Him. And I think at that time I was like, I could commune with Him perfectly as a priest, like in a more profound way. And, along with the idea, it's like, I don't feel capable of loving someone. And I know God loves me unconditionally. So if I can just work on being able to love Him back, then, something good's going on there. And eventually, funny enough, I made a deal with Paul Perez. I was like, dude, if you become a priest, I'll become a priest. Currently, I'm not holding up the deal, but
only one of y'all is.
But at some point, he was, I don't know his story exactly concerning his discernment, or I don't remember it too well.
Really?
But he eventually was going to join the Vianney House, which is where he's at currently. And he was like, dude, I'm the only one here. You should come do it with me because we're both going to go be priests. Let's come on. And I think after a week or two, I was like, fine, I'll do it. I'll be next to McNeese, so I won't have to be driving from Sulphur all the time. Actually, I was driving north of Sulphur. I guess it's technically Sulphur, but it's north of Sulphur. It's like a 15, 20-minute drive from over there. So I was like, that's a much better deal than have to live over there compared to living over here next to campus. So I was like, well, might as well. I'm already discerning. This is a place to discern.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then
and no time spent in the Vianney house is wasted. So
no, it was not.
How would you know?
Oh,
say no time discerning.
Oh yeah.
No time discerning is wasted.
Yeah. And then over the summer, we're hanging out. Me, Kate, and Neil, probably one of our friends, Shem. We're all just talking, and then at some point, Caden started thinking about he had reverted to the Catholic faith.
Right.
I guess in December, somewhere around there. So, and from December till somewhere in the summer, he was enveloping himself into a lot of intellectual aspects of the faith heavily. That guy's a nerd. So he started thinking about priesthood, and we were having a few beers, and we're sitting at a round table, and I'm sitting in the middle, Caden's to my left, Nils to my right, and Nils kind of pushed off of the table like a foot or two, and he jokingly said, if I make this into the beer bottle, one of the glass bottles, you have to become a priest. he chunked it over there and made it in the beer bottle.
Nice.
So I don't know if that helped Caden's discernment or what, but that happened.
Nice.
Caden was like, well, sign me up.
Yeah. So, and then eventually Caden's going to the Vianney house, and me, Paul, and Caden going to the Vianney house in the fall of
25,
yeah. So, and that entire summer I spent trying to pray about my discernment because I wasn't sure. I just felt like God calling me, and this was I guess my scapegoat pathway to I guess being happy essentially is what I was, looking for. Like I want to find like God designed me a specific way to love Him, and I want to figure out how He had designed me to either love through marriage or love through the priesthood, married to the church. And I spent that entire summer discerning about that. I wasn't too sure, and September 1st, moved into the house, and from September to January 9th, I was in the Vianney house. And my entire time in the Vianney house was like, I don't think I've ever been happier in my life beforehand.
Nice.
I had so much healing, so much. I grieved a lot my entire time there. I got to release so many things off my chest, off my soul. Also, literally, as soon I was struggling with lust all throughout the summer and before, and as soon as I got to the Vianney house, I was, whether or not it's because of the constant activities and this far schedule. As soon as I got in there, I lost any lustful thoughts, temptations, and life was just like I felt
devil
free.
couldn't reach you there.
I was like free. I've never been free like that before, and it was such an amazing feeling. And with the schedule, the Vianney house, you spend a lot of time praying. You spend a lot of time doing productive things for yourself and for other people. You do human formation, spiritual formation, and intellectual formation. And I spent a lot of time on my spiritual formation, spending a lot of time praying heavily in my adoration hours. We had adoration from 5:15 to 6:15 in the morning. So my mornings were amazing every single day, except for Saturday and Sunday. I did it at a random time those 2 days. But my morning adoration hours were an absolute blessing and a grace to get to do that. And that helped me heal a lot, spiritually, mentally, and physically. I was also struggling with insomnia, like all of last year throughout the summer. And like a few weeks before I went into the house, I got it under control and I was able to sleep. And going into the house, I was good. And then probably after a month, it came back. And that was due to so much I was stressing myself with my discernment and also having to deal with my grieving in my past. You spend a lot of time in human formation, discovering all these habitual things you do, or you start going into your past basically and figuring out this happened whenever I was in middle school and my parents behaved in this manner, and now I've developed this bad habit because I witnessed that and I didn't have to do this. I chose to do this behavior, and it became a habit. And I discovered a lot of social problems for me, especially with my ability to, or my lack of ability to love others and love myself. I had never developed a deep relationship throughout my entire life because me and my family never had deep relationships with each other. Me and my brother spent a lot of time together, but we never spent time talking about life or things other than sports, activities. And that was something I never I guess realized growing up, was I never had a deep relationship with anyone. And there's a lot of, you form a lot of bad habits because you're lacking love in certain manners. And I had a lack of deep connection with people. and a lack of love from my parents in the ways that I needed. They definitely loved me, but not on the level or at the times that I needed them.
Right.
Due to my dad being a workaholic, my mom being who she was. My parents raised me well from when I was in elementary school to like my freshman year. They raised me very well, and they taught me how to be a respectful man and to respect others. Though I never reciprocated that, but it did stick with me in the long term. But they didn't teach me how to love others, how to have deep connections with other people. And I've never had those deep connections with my parents, or just enough of a deep connection with them. And that, kind of was the reason why I had a lot of struggles socially speaking, and a lot of just the lack of I think a lack of a lot of maternal care that I didn't receive after middle school, resulted in me having a lot of issues with my lust, because these things are connected.
Mm-hmm.
Not receiving love, you seek love in other ways.
Right.
So, and I had a lot of lack of love that I felt, that I just didn't receive enough love and felt capable of loving myself. So, and I discovered all that while in the Vinny house through my human formation. There was just like so many things that I, was trying to carry on, and like I was lacking in this. Well, I'm just gonna ignore that and kind of move on and try to carry that burden of not feeling like I'm loved or being able to love. So I was carrying a lot of burdens, and I was carrying a lot of need for grieving, especially after my dad died. And October and November were the most bizarre. I say bizarre, nothing bizarre. I don't know the right word. Is the most interesting thing in my life. It was like the amount of healing I went through between October and November through my spiritual direction with Father Paul and my my meetings with Father Caraway. There was just like so much understanding and clarity happened with I'd had my meetings with Father Caraway bi-weekly, and my meetings with Father Paul like at the beginning and the end of the month. They're kind of just spread it out weirdly.
Yeah.
But my meetings with Father Caraway were bi-weekly, and he spent a lot of time trying to help me to realize that I was capable of loving others, and I was capable of loving myself, and I was worth loving, being loved. And I think a lot of that went into my spiritual life, and I was denying God the privilege of loving me and receiving his love and receiving his graces. Because, we're spirits and bodies. We're not bodies with spirits. And, it kind of helped me to focus on my soul, my spirit. And I read Be Healed by Bob Schutz, Dr. Bob Schutz. That was a very, very good book, especially for someone with my past, that helped me understand more. And I was already gaining a lot of understanding of my issues.
Yeah.
So, and I took all that to prayer, like all the issues, all the things I was learning. And it was very just enlightening. And I felt in November, I was able to completely be able to love myself and be able to forgive forgive myself and just be able to receive the grace that God was offering. So eventually I left the Vanny house in January after Seek. That was also an amazing experience. That was my first time.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
This January. So, but even then I was still like, I still feel like tugged for marriage. So, my door, I felt like God was just telling me to keep my door open and to not be closed-minded for my vocation because I'm not married yet.
Right.
So, I left the house in January 9th, and then I moved in with my sister and been helping her and my younger brother. I have a girlfriend now as well.
Hey.
Aubrey Smart.
Shout out Aubrey.
She's also been here.
Yeah.
She was actually on the last guest we had on.
Was she
Come
really?
to think of it.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
She's amazing.
She is a firecracker.
She is an angel.
Anything else?
Well, now that you mention it.
That was incredible story you got there.
Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Very touching. Thanks for taking your time here.
Yeah. I'm sorry I'm a slow talker.
No, you're good.
No,
You're good. I was just kind of intrigued just listening the whole time. So it's nice when we have when we're able to get people to come on and they just do all the talking. It's a lot less work for us, so we just kind of sit back and listen.
Especially me these days.
But yeah, no, that's incredible stuff, and we really thank you for coming out.
Just sharing yours.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, if no one else has anything to end on, I think Cole's gonna pray us out.
You ready?
I think so.
All right.
Alrighty.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for life. Thank you for the trials. Thank you for the joys. Thank you for the darkness that you've put in our lives. The challenges they've all been to our benefit. And Lord, you give us an option every day to choose to do good. And even when we fail to do it, you still look at us with love. Lord, please strengthen us to endure these challenges and to have that final perseverance and to grow in faith and love for you and your church and for your wisdom and for your love and your forgiveness, your humility. Lord, you have been the joy of life. You have been too good to all of us to grant us the opportunity to live and to have this life. Thank you, Lord. And I'll end this prayer off with our Father. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. And that's all that's from the Lord's prayer. Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cole. You're incredible young man.